Good morning, chat. My name is Penbu. I'm the programming, puzzle gaming, and music making VTuber on Linux, and today we are going to be doing a work session where we hopefully maybe do something with the website. To be honest, I don't know if I'm up for web stuff today, but I figured, it's been a while since we've touched this. Maybe it's worth revisiting. Bye for now. Welcome in. Won't be around for long, but here now. I'll appreciate you dropping in for however long you can. But no worries if you have to leave. But actually, I don't know if we're going to work on the website right away, because if you remember back in... Oh, wait a minute, I can't do it here. No, I can still do it here. If you remember back in the last work session, we had tried to do alerts on Twitch, and there was a bug, and we didn't get to solve the bug, so maybe we'll debug that first. But then I just remember... We're on the YouTube only scene collection, so I don't actually have access to the Twitch thing, but it doesn't matter because I can just add it again here. It's been a while since we've done a YouTube only stream. I think it's been a few weeks. But it means that I do have all this extra space to move into now that I don't have to worry about covering Twitch chat. Not that there's any hate on Twitch or anything, but not having two chats, because Twitch doesn't allow you to merge the chats, does free up a lot of space. Okay, so we're gonna fumble around, try to figure out what it is that we're doing. I think I do want to start with the overlay stuff from last time. I'm trying to figure out what to do here. Because I do remember I ran into this issue some time ago before when I was setting up the original alerts. And I think I remember how I debugged it. So let's send a tip event here. And so this is the issue here, right? It's all out of frame. And this is because you go into here. The size seems to be badly... this is probably a bug on Stream Elements side, but it seems like the width of the container is not properly set. I don't think it has anything to do with this one. So what we can do, we take this HTML, copy outer HTML, and then we can copy this into a file. So let's put it in here. Vim alerts. I'm gonna tmux this one. Paste it into here, and now we get everything else. Data, on click, and then our styles added afterwards. So we should be able to do everything that we need here, probably, hopefully. But we do need the events listener, so SC API, which doesn't exist, probably. Oh no, it's right here. Okay, that should be fine. So we just need to figure out how to trigger this. Set no wrap. So bind event, that's fine. Which actually... element.attach event. This is really old. I don't know why they even bother doing this anymore. Because I think this here, the element.attach event, is an Internet Explorer specific thing. You only need to add event listener these days, because everything supports this now, and it has for a very large number of years. So you don't need this anymore. But I guess people are just copying and pasting it around because that's all they that's what they've done. So bind events on window message we can probably ignore. Add event listener loads. This is fine. And the SE API and on click is this, sure. Now I just got to figure out how to trigger our message. So this is the custom script that we had in the alert itself. And so the way to trigger a message would be to do this. To send the window a message on event received, then we do this. We dispatch the events, the session, on session update, on load, or anything else. Send the message. And then document.add event listener. We'll click window.open. Bar console. There's a bunch of minified code here that I don't think is yeah, that's not relevant either. How does this work? So you're supposed to send a message and it's supposed to trigger this code somehow, the HTML, and it's supposed to make, actually where even is that? No, this is the alert body. This is the alert body. So we can at least see how this looks in the browser. This is in Scratch Stream, and then the we need to save this thing first. Alerts. So this is what that looks like. And if we say have this at the proper height and width for what we need it to be, so this has, say, we expect this to be, oh, is this it? Is this why we're seeing issues? Okay, hold on. Let me compare that with the YouTube side, because the YouTube side is good. We know that works. Let me just pull that up here. Overlays. This one. Alright, so this one's the YouTube one. We have an alert box as before. We have the settings. Let me position size 640 by 216, which is not what we see here. This should be 640 by 216. And is this all we needed? Quite possibly. Very, very close. Almost. Because we have this border around here, the margin. But that doesn't mean that maybe we take this alert box. This tip alert here. Open the CSS editor and then replace everything that we used to have, because there's nothing really custom here that's that we really need. So we take this CSS editor, copy and paste everything we have here. We have no source control, so this is just going to be a blind trust that this works. It should be fine. Maybe I should save what was in there, but also it wasn't working anyway, so. What do they call this thing? Cowboy coding, isn't it? Okay, and I'm going to set this to 6 seconds, so that's a little bit more sane. I think that's what this one has. Just got to get rid of this now. I don't know how you reset the events though. I don't know if you can. I don't think you can. Okay, there we go. Hey, look at that. I think we fixed it. Okay. Well, you know how it is. When you're debugging something in the moment, sometimes you just need to step away from it and then you know the answer will come. Alice Chainsteel, welcome in. Game wasn't cross-platform as your usual, so you're here now. All right. Well, yeah. Welcome in. We just fixed the Twitch alert. And it was because we had noticed there was one thing that we didn't copy over. We spent how long on that last stream? But again, sometimes it just takes creating, or rather, just taking a break and looking away and coming back to it later to really realize what went wrong. But okay, then we just do that for the other ones. But I can do that off stream. We don't need to deal with that here. But I think with that, then I can probably enable Twitch affiliate. Okay, I guess we didn't need this one. Oh, there is actually another style. Let me pull that up. So that's the style for if there's an alert on this screen, but there's also an alert style if you are in the waiting screens, and just to show that off here. We have this one. Oh, something like that. But yeah, that's what you'll see if you're on the waiting screens. Now I think I should just be able to copy and paste all that stuff and put it in. So for the most part, it should be okay. We can put that away now. So now the website. I think maybe we can start with I don't know. Do we want to start with content first, or do we want to go with turning this into an actual? So the context here for those of you who haven't been here or rather who are newer. We had some months ago started moving this over to Svelte. GitHub.com/PenbuVT, PenbuVT, GitHub.io. So we have a branch here called Svelte, where we started moving things over to Svelte. We are 88 commits behind main. We had done this like 6 months ago. It's already been that long, has it? Okay. So there's a ton of stuff that we can move over. So we can do this. Or there's another page that I wanted to do, the about page, where we still use because right now we're using Zola as our static site generator. I actually need to add a README here. We're using Zola as our static site generator, which means all we need to do to put in a new page, I guess, is just to put it into content here. So we just write that out all in Markdown and stuff. Which means we have content to begin with, because we need. I've been meaning to put in an about page, which is going to be a lot of text and images, somewhere to put the lore and stuff and credits and whatnot. But then there's also the Svelte rewrites that we have not touched in 6 months. Website, not the website. So I actually have, there's this Git feature called Git Work Trees. It basically allows you to have a repo checked out in 2 places at once, and checked out in 2 different branches at once, but still affecting the underlying commits and stuff. So that in this way here, I have the Svelte branch checked out in this directory, and then I also have the Zola branch checked out in website Zola, so I can do all the stuff I need for the website now, like updating the schedule, without having to deal with changing, like reinstalling node modules and whatnot every time for the Svelte branch. Not that we've touched it in 6 months, but basically allows me to work on them separately, and so that's what I have here. That's why this is still checked out to the Svelte. But okay, maybe let's pull this one up, and then there a readme here? There is a readme here. How do I run this? Run dev. Okay, so then we go here. And then this is what we have so far. Which kind of looks like what we have here, but not really. Kind of. I remember it being kind of like that, I guess. But we also, I think, did the schedule portion. And this looks pretty complete, I think. There are a couple of new features that have added to the schedule since we last looked at this. But otherwise, it is functional. Which, considering I wrote the schedule code by hand for the HTML stuff, it makes sense that it's somewhat easy to port over. This stuff, you have to port over from the Zola templates, which was not mine. And that already fails. Nice. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with that. Why does that not expand? That should be expanding. What even is this? Why is that? Classic case of the container not expanding to the size or to contain the content. Heights 3em. I think this should be min height. Yeah, that should be min height. I haven't messed with CSS in a long time. Yeah, I don't work with CSS a whole lot. I know enough. But there has been a bunch of new features in CSS that I just have not worked with, like CSS Grid. I think I more or less stopped at Flexbox. But I am exposed to it at work because we've got a lot of, like, my work is like our main product is our project is a React-based web application, and so there is some CSS going on there. And being the tech lead, I have to make sure that I'm up to date with the various patterns and whatnot. I don't actually do a whole lot of research into new patterns, but when they come up, like when the developers come up and talk about a new pattern and stuff, I will go out and look at what that is, and you know, just make sure that I'm aware, at least aware, not necessarily know how to implement the stuff, but at least aware of that it exists. Has is pretty big. Oh yeah, I heard about that. MDN has. Oh, it's already okay. Newly available. So that's good news. Pale Moon probably doesn't have this yet. And I like to try to make sure that my stuff works in Pale Moon at minimum. But yeah, Has is a pretty. I remember this being very, very wanted. So this basically says that what is this? Functional has represents any element if any of the relative selectors that are passed has an argument match at least one element when anchored against this element. Pseudo class presents a way of selecting a parent element or a previous sibling element with respect to a reference element by taking a relative selector list. Now, relative selector lists, I think, are new-ish. Relative selector. Yeah, so relative selectors are new because they are relative to the current elements. And they're mainly, it seems like it's mainly used in Has. Relative selectors don't begin with an explicit combinator, have an implied descendant combinator. That makes sense. Because descendant combinators have a space, and you can't really represent that unless you have the... does this support ampersands? Maybe. Karma Konodo, welcome in. This is part of my day job, kind of. I am a tech lead for a web-based project, so I am exposed to this. I don't actually I don't actually program anymore. I get other people to program, but I do architecture for web-based stuff. So yeah, if there are times where I don't want to do this, it's because it is part of my day job to some extent. I feel like I'm at the point with programming, and 539, maybe you're right, and maybe it is just the specific technologies. But I feel like I'm at the point in programming where I'm kind of just done with the whole thing, and I want somebody else to do it. I come up with the ideas, I get somebody else to implement it. And now I don't have to make the low-level decisions and whatnot. But that's not always practical, and especially for things like this and personal projects. Sometimes it's good to make sure you have your own control. And also, I am fairly particular about how things are done, so even if I get somebody else to do it, I feel like I'd be a little bit too micromanagey about how things are written. So it's one of those cases where it's probably just best for that I just do it myself, which unfortunately means I have to do it myself. So there is some compromise or like balancing that's needed there. But okay, let's at least pull up an editor and maybe figure out what we need to do here. So I kind of don't remember what's happening in here, but I do remember routes here. So this is sveltekit. Sveltekit. If you've not heard of Svelte, it is a web framework kind of like Vue. Vue actually takes some ideas from Svelte's predecessor, but yeah, it's like React in that you can create interfaces out of it, but it's not like React in that this is more pre-compiled, and I don't know. It's kind of not JavaScript, but it also kind of is. I mean, I guess we'll see. It tends to be more HTML leaning than JavaScript leaning. For example, this page.svelte under the home page, this will be the home page. Right, this is what we have here. And that's what we have here. I don't know if I want to deal with this one right now. So looking at the original one here. Alright, so we have this H1. I mean, I don't know why I don't just copy this, because I could. Oh, right, the reason why I didn't was because the structure was kind of bad. So if this was an anime, your coworkers would reply with Penbu Senpai. Yeah, they could. They would, actually, I think. Yeah. If this were an anime or if this were Japan, they probably would. Have I ever mentioned... I probably have mentioned it. Did you know that I ran an anime club at work before? I don't really anymore because nobody seems to be interested, and it's more difficult to watch anime remotely, at least up to my quality standards. But back pre-pandemic, I used to run anime nights once a week, and also anime lunches where we would watch a few episodes. And the way that started was that in my current workplace, I've been here for about now 6 years. Quite a while, but I started off as a co-op student, and one of the things they got us to do was, so our company was big in Star Wars, and I think it was episode 9 was about to come out, and so they had us organize a watch along of the previous eight movies. And there were 3 of us co-ops there, and so we had organized that, and that meant staying late. But that was fine because for me, my sister was going to university at the time, and my dad had said that I should wait for her so that we can go home together. And and so I was going to be stuck around anyway. So we watched the movie. There, you know, the turnout was okay, but for us co-ops, because I was sticking around for a while after, there was some time between the movie ending and then when I had to leave, and so we just filled that time with anime. And there came a point where showing the Star Wars movie was just a formality and something that we had to do, and the real highlight was the anime. And so then when I came back, or after the movies were done, and we'd watched the 9th episode and whatever, we turned that into an actual club where we would watch anime more regularly. And so yeah, that was after nights and during lunches. So during the night sessions, and this happened when I came back full time too. During the night sessions, we would watch. It was 4 episodes or so, either sampling 3 or 4 episodes of a series, or doing a entire season watch along where we would plan out which episodes we would watch, and go through the whole season. And then for the lunches, we had done, I think it was two series on at the same time, watching 1 episode each. So it was very, very thought out and all that, but people enjoyed it for the most part. I do miss Anime Club, because I think that was the only way I really watched anime when I was working. But now not so much anymore. I don't have the courage to talk about anime with my coworkers. Yeah, I originally wasn't going to. Oh, okay, well, so it helped that I had some peers that were the same age as me, and I knew that they also liked it. So it was very easy to get along that way. But I think without the other co-ops there, I probably wouldn't have exposed my power level like that. I was actually did not intend to create an anime channel in our Slack. But somebody else made it already, and so I figured it's there. I'm the one who knows the most about anime. I may as well commandeer it. Okay, so the reason why we don't have a logo here is because we don't have the image. That's fine. And we have all this stuff. I think we can just copy and paste. I don't particularly care. Index. Yeah. So I'm pretty much abusing this this theme, and set no wrap. You're supposed to use this as a template. But I'm not really using it as a template. It's mostly just already in here. So for example, the schedule. If you haven't seen the schedule before, this is a static page, like a static HTML page. No, not in here. There's a static folder where the files are copied over exactly as is. And so I have one here for schedule, because I'm doing all sorts of custom stuff here, and handwrote the HTML and all that. Whereas the way you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to put something in content and make a markdown file. And so because I'm doing all sorts of custom stuff, I'm not doing that. But also this homepage here is this template here, the index.html. I don't know if the theme is just bad, but there's this block here, and the way you're supposed to be using these themes is that you're supposed to override specific small blocks to slot in what you want. Except what I want apparently is to override almost the whole thing. So what's the point of the theme? Anyway, we can take this then. And then put that in here. Div class socials. I think that would be in here. Alright, because it's H1, then H3. I don't know why this is H3. And actually, this should be a header. Heading. And again, heading. Or maybe it is header. H group. Represents the heading and related content groups a single H1 to H6 element with one or more keys. Yes, this is actually what we want. So this should be an H group instead. But we're going to put this in. And this is going to fail because we don't have these. Unexpected token. This one, because that renders as svelte. Svelte uses the curly braces for JavaScript interpolation. So we can't have this. So then the next question is, sveltekit, where do we get images? Where do we put our images? Because I don't remember. Do we have any images here already? Oh, we do for the schedule. I think we have one for the schedule somewhere. That's under lib schedule. No, we have a bunch of svelte stuff there. Route schedule, we don't have one in there either. I guess we don't have images. Images can have a big impact on your app's performance. For best results, you should optimize them by doing the following. Sure. We already have images. Import logo from this thing. So lib assets. Vite will automatically process imported assets for improved performance. Reference via the CSS URL function, but also I guess this means we can just import the images by itself. Like that. So we just have to find a place to put these images. And then we should be good to go. To be honest, I'm not too fond of how this is done, because the way this is it's an SVG image, and then the hover is done as a how is this done? It's a hover effect, using I think after or before or something like that, and before. With the bar color source here. Actually, no, this one's probably okay. This one is probably okay. And the reason why it's done this way is so that, because this is purely presentational, the hover effect, I didn't want to clutter the rest of the, well, one, I didn't have JavaScript. Actually, I'd prefer if this didn't use JavaScript. But two, I didn't want to put two images in here because then that would break semantics. So then you have two images when there should only really be one. Okay, so then that means that we can put things in lib, and then we can say I don't know, put a thing in images here. Not that. Images. I'm going to say icons. And we can dump stuff in here. So we're going to copy over from the website directory static images, social icons, the entire folder to lib, source lib. Oh, but there's a static folder. Should I be putting that in static? No, I should be putting these in lib. Okay. Images. and then we put it in there. And we're going to delete the other directory that we made. Source lib images icons. We don't need that one. Okay. Now we can reference this in here. I'm going to split this. I'm going to do no wrap. We don't get all that clutter. And then we have the script tag up at the top. Import YouTube icon from lib slash what was it, assets? Did we call it assets? Source lib images slash social icons slash YouTube. YouTube.svg. Alright, so we're not going to have the hover effect, but that's okay. Source logo, okay. The YouTube icon there. And then we do the same thing for the rest of these. YouTube icon color. And then dash color. And then this one would also be YouTube icon color. Okay, that seems about right. And then we do the same for the rest of the ones. So we have Discord, X, and then GitHub. YouTube, Discord, and then X, and then GitHub. And then we do the same thing here. Also Twitch. Can't forget about Twitch. Twitch is not around today. And it's because it's we're only on YouTube today because the work sessions are not one of the streams that I tend to stream on Twitch. Twitch icon color, Twitch icon, just a regular one, and then this one is Discord icon color. Whoa, do not want to do that. Discord icon by itself. And you see, this, I think we can put into a loop of some sort because these are all the same, right? We are in Svelte. We can use loops. So maybe it's worth actually. Oh no, but then we'd have to. It's almost all the same. It's almost all the same. Let's do this first, and then we can refactor it later. One of the nice things about front-end frameworks is that you can abstract things that look the same and turn them into components and stuff. So you can reduce your repetitive code, keep yourself dry, don't repeat yourself. And this one is X. On color. Yeah, I feel like this is one of the things that I'm starting to dislike about programming is that there's a lot of things that you need to keep in mind and a lot of things that you could do, but you can't do them all at once. And so it takes a bit of discipline to put something aside and then just work on one thing at a time and make sure that you're doing things well and in sequence, and then you don't forget anything too. Okay, so I think this is probably going to be the social icons, so that's fine. And there we go, we have this. They are about the same size as what we had. They're not the same size. Why are they not the same size? Is because we have not sized them. So for example, this one has styles on them to say that these should be a certain size. Hero is social, social icon, position relative. Where is your size? How do you know that you're sized correctly? Line height. Font size. No font size. Okay. Well, I don't know where you're coming from, but okay. Actually, no, maybe it's because the height of the socials. Okay. This is probably where it is. Gap 1EM, flex wrap. So this one we can probably keep. So div class social is here. And we can add a style here, which is the same thing as what we have in here. I'm going to find the style sheet for this. Look for socials. And copy that there. And we should be able to do this and just copy it right in. It doesn't shrink them, but we do get the hover effect. Why do we not get the shrunk? Or maybe they are supposed to be this size, but this actually does look smaller. Yeah, that's another reason why I didn't want this. I didn't want this. I do not want media queries if I can help it. And particularly not max width either. Because if we're going mobile first, although in my case, I prefer not to do any kind of mobile first or desktop first development. It should just work with one set of styles, at least in my opinion. So what if you get rid of this? And we resize it, and what it's going to do is going to do that. As opposed to what those styles were doing here was making the click area a little bit larger by putting in the words. But I've actually also been wondering if this is something that I want to have, because all it really does is push the content down. It means that you don't get to see the video. What am I looking for here? This is the socials. We have these here. I don't know why they aren't shrunk, but you know, maybe that doesn't matter too much yet. And then we have this over here, which does not shrink with the size of the screen, which it probably should to an extent. It should at least have some sort of minimum it should shrink, but with some minimum width. Whereas this doesn't shrink at all. But okay, I think this is a commit though. Add social icons. Okay. So now that we have the social icons, what's next? We're missing the header here. The header actually is kind of broken on the current site because it does that, and we don't want it to do that. We can take the logo and actually put the logo in here. That's probably a good idea. And also, this is supposed to be centered. This is centered. This is not centered. Let's put the logo in first. I still need to get around to making the logo in SVG. I'm gonna do a quick tangent here. The logo is this one? It's this one. Or just pulling it up. The logo is rendered as is defined as a subtitle file. Like so. So in theory it is scalable. It is vector. But it's not super easy to turn it into an SVG. I actually also have to figure out how to get this to scale up properly, because I've had a bit of trouble with making sure it scales. But yeah, the logo comes in various what do you call it? Variants. Various variants. So the mark of a, now I'm not going to claim that this is a good logo, because I don't know if I'm someone to judge that, but one of the marks of a good logo is whether it can stand out on a variety of different different situations, and whether it's still recognizable if you take out the colors and have it monochrome. And so I can at least say that this logo does that. We do have monochrome versions, and if we go into the full screen scene, and I hope this is, I didn't actually check this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you see here at the bottom we have the monochrome logo there. But yeah, one of these days we'll turn this into an SVG. But in the meantime, we have this giant PNG that we can copy over. Penbu logo gradient large into source lib images and just right there. Then we import Penbu logo from lib images, Penbu whatever it was, logo gradient large.png, and then put that in here. And then we can copy the same thing that we do here, I think. Put that in there. Then change this so that, alright, it's already there. change this so that we have Penbu logo. And hopefully that means we get, oh, that's not what you want. That's a little bit too large. But I think that's because we don't have the hero logo style. So we'll take this. This is under hero contents, which I suppose doesn't really matter. Then we'll take this and put it in here. And then hope that this is enough. That's not quite enough. I have max height 3 EM because the size of the hero content... No, the font size isn't actually changed here. But EM is a font size, is relative to the font size, so we have to know what the font size is for it to make sense. Computed font size 50 pixels, whereas this is font size. Hello? I guess we don't specify one. Although it's probably not a good idea to have this as a font. It's probably better to have this in rems anyway. So as a guide, if we have 50 pixels as our EMs there, right here. Okay, that's the same size. If our font size is 50 pixels here, and our height is 3 EM, that means that the max height that we have is 150. Or yeah, so it's 150 pixels tall. Divided by the default EM size of, or root EM size of 16. 150 divided by 16, that's about 9. Let's call that 10. And we can say that the max height is 10 rem. And the width is auto. It looks about, or maybe 9 rem. 9 rem is, I think, a little bit easier. And it is closer to the original size too. So that's 9 rem. Which means that if we shrink this, we get that, which is what we want. Okay. So we're gonna make that a commit. We're gonna make that a commit. And then we're gonna figure out how to center this thing. And why are we not centered? That is because the hero left is a flex container. Well, the hero content is a flex container. The hero left, though, has text-align center. Whereas we do not have text-align center here. But that is a very easy fix. We have this section here. Section class hero left. I mean, I guess we can call it left. We probably shouldn't call it left, but oh well. Hero left. Text align center. So that should give us our centering. There we go. That is sufficiently centered. Something feels a little bit off about this. I'm not quite sure what. Things are a little bit bigger. Understandable. I do want to know what the root EM here is. Computed font size. We do not have a font size. What size is this? Font size 25 pixels. Which means this is 50. Oh, okay. It's bigger because we didn't, or because the original one shrunk it. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I don't want to be shrinking. I don't want to be putting in sizes where I don't need to be, so we're going to leave that out. So I think what we want to do here is remember the earlier H group thing. I do want to turn this into an H group instead of doing the H1, H2 thing. Presented as a P element within the H group. And so this is basically saying that we have a header and then we have some sort of subtitle, which is what we have here. We have this header and then we have the subtitle and then we have content underneath. So semantically this would be an H group, and then this is should be a P. I think that should, yeah, there we go. We just need to make this a little bit bigger then. Like maybe say 2EM in bolds. (1.5EM). Well, how about we just start with font weight bolds. Font size 2EM, 1.5EM. Put this in responsive mode so we can move stuff over. 720. Oh, that is not a good sign. When even 720p goes into responsive mode, or into mobile tablet mode. But okay. Like, I think this is a decent size, 1.5EM. What was an H2? So we turn this into an H2 instead. And when we turn off the font size thing, we should get a computed value of computed. Going to the settings and turn on user agent style, show browser style. So there we go. From the user agent, we have font size 1.5EM. Okay, so we are going to keep that. So in this case, we have H group subtitle, dot subtitle, and we are going to make this font size 1.5EM and font weight bold. And so that should change nothing from what we see. There we go. Well, I do have a little bit of concern, and that is when we shrink this, we shouldn't be doing that so soon. Because over here, I guess this one does it too. We gotta find a way to make this shrink a little bit more, because I'm okay with having it to oh wait, H2. That should not be H2. Did you fail? Okay. So I'm okay with this shrinking a little bit more before it drops. But also, this is already doing that, so maybe I shouldn't care about that yet. Maybe fix that later. Yeah, we're gonna fix that later. But for now, this looks good. Icons are a little bit bigger, but I'm not too fussed about it. I mean, everything seems to be a little bit bigger too. Ah, it's because I had it on 120%. You know, this is mostly fine. I think this is probably fine. What we're missing here is the menu bar. We're going to have to do something with that. That's going to be its own components. But for now, we can commit. Use each group for tagline. Tagline is better represented semantically as a header group rather than two separate headers. Okay, what else do we have? So that's the home page. We're pretty much good to go on this one, I think. These all link to the correct places. This is pretty much the same. I think it's probably best to add another video here, but that's fine. Now we just need the top header here, the components. So for that, we're going to do a new components. We have source lib nav header dot svelte. I think that's how that's done. Where we basically have this header thing here. Actually, I think we can probably just copy that as is. That looks pretty sane. So themes, juice, templates, index, header. Wait a minute. Did I actually just... I think I might have just overridden the entire thing. Okay. Sure. It is literally just that. Sveltekit, I need routes. Route URLs. How do I get the URL for a specific route? I'm gonna take a drink of water here. Does my foot pedal not work? I think it doesn't work. Okay. Sorting stuff, routing. How do I get the URL for a specific route? Or maybe I just hard code this or something, I don't know. Do I at least have the base link options? Sveltekit, get URL for route or page. Loading data. Page data. Well, it's a good thing that we have page data here, because I think we're going to need that for the blog posts. There is a blog session that I've been planning. There was a blog post that I was writing, and kind of just stopped because I didn't get a chance to finish it. It was the one about licenses and hydrogen, the drum kits. Because hydrogen's drum kits are licensed under the GPL, which makes it difficult to distribute files like music that is made with those drum kits. Because the GPL says that if you're going to use it, and the like the drum kit sounds are a significant portion of the or not even if they're a significant portion, if you are using those sounds in your composition, like in your audio file, you have to license the audio file as a whole under the GPL, which I don't want to be doing. So what you really want is that if you have the GPL, if you want to license your sounds under the GPL, you can do what FreePats did and put in an exception where it says that if you're using those wholesale as part of a musical composition, you don't have to invoke the you don't have to license the whole thing as a GPL. It's only if you're going to modify the sound files that you do. It's a similar exception that you have for fonts, where under the plain GPL, if you use a font, it would overreach and make your whole documents a GPL if you use a font. But that's generally not what you want when you're licensing the font under the GPL. So they have the font exception that has that. GPL font exception. So there's a Wikipedia article on this. You're free to read that on your own time. Okay, I think I'm gonna figure out how to do this one later. Because there's got to be something here. But we have the nav header. We have header, nav. I have an Emmet plugin. I should be using it. And then we have the props for this thing. Actually, it's not props. We're gonna have a script here where we have the routes is equal to something. Is equal to an array of objects that have text is some text, and then href is equal to some link. Spelled for each, because I do not remember how this works. At work, I'm exposed to a Svelte project, but I don't actually work in Svelte myself. Okay, so that's what we want there. So on each block here, each route as routes. Can I destructure? I think I can destructure. So that's fine. Yeah, I probably don't need to key this thing. I probably don't need to key this thing because the list is fairly static. So there's no point in keying these. So we go through all the routes, and we can do href. No, that's not quite right. It should be a list. It should be a list. It should be a menu. I think there's an actual. Well, there used to be a menu element, which I think they got rid of. Yeah, so this is generally put into a list like this. So that's what we want to do. Menu is no longer a thing. Oh no, it is still a thing. Represent an unordered list of items. Key difference is that UL primarily contains items for display, while menu was intended for interactive items. The related menu item has been deprecated. Menu is used to create a toolbar for editing an application. So I think I'm okay with using a menu here. I think it makes sense to do that from a semantic point, because this is the nav menu, right? So I think it would make sense to do that. And then we'll have this. And then we'll have that. Then we have the text here. And then we have the href here. I think that's about it. Then we have the schedule or the href schedule. There's got to be a way we can deal with this though. That can't be right. That does mean that we go in here. We go under layout. We have the layout.svelte. We have the slot here. Then we can put in the script. Import. Import nav header from lib/nav header.svelte. I forget to add langts to your script tag. Yes, but also this is wrong. Okay. Well, that certainly looks like there's something there. Well, that's good. I'm wondering for this one. Well, if I want it to look like this, But I have to make sure that we add some styles here so that the nav header gets put on top. But for now, we can play around with this. What styles do we have here? So we have that. Kind of reset list item, display block, list style type. List style type, none. So we hide that. Line CSS. And then we can style this thing. In this case, we have the menu being list style type is none because we don't want the little circles, and then we also want li, I think. For example, if we have multiple ones of these, duplicate node, we have 2 of them. Flexbox. Or display inline block, which should put everything over on the same line here. Li display inline block, which is traditionally, I think, how you would do it. But maybe a little bit smarter about this, I think. Display flexbox and gap is 1em. We do that instead, then we get this, which is a little bit easier. And then we have, because then we can push this over to the right side. Of the left, we can say justify content. CSS tricks flexbox. I always go to this website whenever I look for flexbox stuff. It's very handy. Yeah, justify context flex end. Then we have that. Then we can do a padding of 1em or something. Is that correct? Do we want to do that? Padding left 1em, padding right 1em. The sides get 1em, and then the rest of these are good. And then inside, you have A with font, weight, bold, and then you need color is whatever the color I have somewhere else. I'm gonna make it black for now, but I think I should have some CSS variables, because right now I don't even have variables for these ones. So we should be putting these in variables, but for now we'll just leave them as that. Text declaration none, and then add hover, text declaration underline, which I think is what we have over here. Okay. Did I spell this wrong? Or did it just not? Hello? I mean, it's clearly black because we have it here. But then what about the hover? Do I need to put in... Ah, yes, I probably need to do this. So in SAS, the ampersand gives you the selector for the current selector. And so doing this hover means that we're looking for any descendants that is hovered over, but not the actual element itself. So if we want the element itself to be hovered, we need to put in this this ampersand here, so that we're modifying this selector. There we go. That's what we want. We have an underline now. Okay. So then, what we can do is on this page, we can say nav header in the global nav header, we can say that it should display position absolute. Well, seems about right. Width 100%. Guess we go with that. All right. Position absolute, width 100%. So specifically for this one, actually we should probably put this in an index layout, because I think that's the one that makes more sense. Because in Svelte you can override certain layouts, but you can also inherit from other layouts. In the meantime, that certainly works, and then that gives us that. I may want a little bit more padding, because this has a little bit more padding, and otherwise this is not. So it may be worth adding padding to the sides, because hero content right here has padding of 40 pixels. Which is approximately 40 divided by 16 is 2.5. 2.5 rems. Whereas we only have one here. Do we need more? I don't know if we need more. We have the nav header here. Oh, that's the nav header. We have it with 100%. We can do actually no, with 100%. We can do margin or 2 rem, which isn't actually going to help. Margin left, margin right, 2 rem. Which is going to do that. Maybe padding left then. But then we're overriding the original styles, which is not what we want necessarily. But also maybe we should just put that in here. Now, like, we can put that in here instead. So we can do that. Now we have 2 rems on both sides. Okay. we still have this problem where it overlaps the this bit. So maybe for the home page, we get rid of this, we don't use this layout. Or maybe we do. Maybe we do. Because right now we have it as position absolute, but we don't need it to be position absolute. We can have it be something else. And the reason why we might want to consider... Okay, I think it would be easier if we move this down. So for example, if we didn't have this, and we put this in here instead. Put the header in there. And then put styles on the div instead. Or, okay, so we put the header in the main like that, and we get that. But then you still run into the same issue, I think. Kind of. Okay, we're gonna gut that. We're gutting that. We're going to import the snap header right there, and we're going to put the snap header in here, and then instead of the main having oh no, I did not want that. I think I need to change some stuff here actually. The hero should encompass both main and the header. So what do I have here? Display flex, flex wrap. Oh, that's not. We have the main container, like so. We're going to move some of these styles over, specifically these ones. So we're going to have this div here, div that wraps the nav header and the main portion, which is more properly, I think, called the hero if we're doing it this way. I call this hero container, I guess. So this is the hero container. Then we have that. So that looks like that. Great. But I think we still have the position absolute, which we do not want. Get rid of that. And then we need to save this one so that we no longer do that. And then we get rid of this one too, because we no longer need that. And so now we have this thing. And I think that's because of some sort of margin that we have that we need to get rid of. Yeah, okay. So this menu here, has margin on it because margin block start, margin block end. Oh, I didn't know they had that. That's actually pretty useful. So block start and block end means that you don't have to say left and right, and instead it'll adapt to right to left languages. So in a right to left language, start would be on the right and then end would be on the left, but in left to right languages like English, start would be on the left and end would be on the right. So this is actually pretty good. You should consider doing that sometime. Canvas text. Or actually, I guess in this case, block start and block end would be top and bottom. Because if you remove this, if you can even do anything with that, okay. Well, we can put that in here, say that menu margin 0. Then we have that. That doesn't make any sense. Hold up. That does not make any sense. Maybe this should be a flex container. Flex direction column. Like so. Alright. But then that means that this is now off center, which is not what I want. Maybe it makes sense in this special case here to do that. Or maybe we use CSS grid. I don't want to use grid. That's going to require having breakpoints. Yeah, that is not going to work. Because yes, then we have clearance on this side up here when we do break. That also means that we push all this stuff down, which is not good. Unless we do something different with this. Tango icon palette. So if you're not aware, I have, or the colors that I use all come from the Tango icon palette, Tango color palette. Just because it's very easy to have something that you already know looks good. And Tango is used a lot in Linux, or at least it used to be. So it's a good callback to that. So I could say something like background is this. Then we end up having that, which doesn't look great. Yeah, this instead. Which also doesn't look great. And I mean, none of these are going to look good, I think. I think this problem is mostly caused by me not wanting to use breakpoints. I was lamenting this about this to a coworker the other day. And I don't know, maybe I just make it more difficult for myself if I do this. Because breakpoints are there to solve a problem. The problem is, I don't want to define breakpoint. In part because it means that I have to assume something about everyone's screen. Now there is this recommendation where your media queries shouldn't use pixels. They should use rems, or yeah, you should use rems. I've never actually tried that, and maybe that'll be enough for me to be okay with breakpoints. Because then it means I'm not assuming anything about their about the user's screen size. I am assuming something, or I am assuming something about the user's screen size, but it's all relative to the font size, which is what really matters anyway. So maybe breakpoints using EMs are fine, or like rems are fine. Alright, because you want to make sure it works okay if the user zooms. Also, all this stuff. Why are rems no good? In addition to rems, why are you telling me to use EMs? Font size. Not be affected by that. Unfortunately, it's perfect behavior for Safari. I don't know how much I care about Safari. I guess I kind of do care a little bit. But also this was back in 2016, so things may have changed by now. Maybe they fixed it. I'd be a little bit more okay with using rems versus EMs. Just because EMs, and while they work for the root size, you want to make sure that or if you use EMs and your font size changes, then that means that your M size changes too. The whole point of rems is that they don't change throughout the document, so you have something consistent to work with. And in my opinion here, sizes or dimensions should probably work in rems. Okay. So if I must, I guess using a rem size breakpoint would probably be okay. Maybe. Not too big of a fan of that though. Because it means then I have to make an assumption. But I suppose it also means that I can dictate a few things if that's the case. Because then I can say that we go into this mode when we're smaller than a certain font size or like width, and then we're in like relative to the font size, and then we're in this mode when we're larger than that. Which means I can have this floating. Which I might have to do, because as much as I don't want to do it, I might have to do it. Then again, well, how do I know what the height of this is anyway? Should I be defining what the height of this this header is? Because this is what, like 1 EM. I know what the height of this is. So that's 1 M-ish. Layouts. 19 pixels. And then you have 1 M on both sides. So if this is the height 1 M, then you have that size there. 1.3 M. If I fix the height to something, then it means that I can assume what that height is going to be in this bit here. So if I do that, then maybe it's okay. I'm not a big fan of that, but maybe we'll do that. Just make sure that the menu is a fixed height. And then over here, then that means that we can say that the main portion. Actually, no, I don't want to have a fixed height here. I want to have a fixed height over here. So in this case, this will be nav header. We fixed the height of this to be 1.5 or 1.25 EM. And then we can say that the hero container, or rather the main container here, the top is negative 1.25 EM. And of course we broke something. And this is because we have margins on this. Take away the heights. What do we break? No, it's because this thing has margins. But what changed? All I did was remove this. And now it's like that. Now this doesn't make any sense. Header is that. And the menu has, we do margin 0, and we end up with that. But then you have this. Oh, it's because we fixed the height of the header, right? If you remove the fixed height of the header, then that means everything is sized according to its contents. Because if you put a height on, if you put a height on the container now becomes a sizing context. Ah, alright, fine. Okay, what did I break though? Is that... You import the nav header, you do this kind of stuff. You do that, and then you just change this to be that, and I don't see us changing anything. CSS, please. Okay, the hero container is still a height 100 VH. That's fine. We want it to take up the entire thing. The reason this is being pushed down is because of this menu here. But if we remove the margin, then I guess we have to add it back in the padding. Like that. I guess that would make sense. We got it back into padding. Okay, well, if that's the case, then I guess we can do that. Which means this here, the menu has margin 0. And then we have the padding. We don't have, I guess we can put in a global height here. Margin 0, but then our nav header can have excess padding. So 1 EM, 2 EM. Like so. If that's the way we do it, then that means that then we can... No, that can't be right either. Because padding then means that we are restricting this. If we have border box, if border sizing border box, or sorry, box sizing border box, and that means that the height... No, I think that's still what we want though, isn't it? I think that's still what we want. This still needs to be centered on screen though. We position absolutes. No, I don't want to do position absolutes to center things. Sounds like a bad idea. So we have height 1.25 EM. Then we have this top minus 1.25 EM. But I think we need to have this position absolute anyway, though, for the top to work. Position absolute with 100%. I feel like I'm opening myself up to a can of worms by doing this. Such as that. Such as that. Margin. I do not want margin. 1.25 yen. It's not going to do anything. Actually, you know what? That might be okay. That is not okay. Of course it's not okay. I think I have to use breakpoints. I think I actually have to break down and use breakpoints. Alright, fine. Fine. Wait, what is this? Is it okay? No, I think this is still a little bit off. Because it's fine here. But then if I make it bigger, then it's a little bit off center. Yeah, it's a bit off center there. I use a breakpoint. Maybe we'll put up with this for now. So do you not want to do the trial and error required for putting setting a breakpoint? But setting a breakpoint doesn't mean I can switch to using grid instead, which I guess would be nice. Okay, whatever. This is fine. Actually, for the home page, do I actually want a menu up here, or do I want to put everything down here? So I feel like the call to actions would be better suited... No, like you still have the menu and then you have the call to action. The schedule is all the way up in the corner, but not every link is going to be here. So there's the portfolio, which I'm going to rename to projects. There's about, and then there's schedule. And then maybe we put these icons up here too. So much to think about. But then if we're going to be doing this... Actually no, I kind of need to do it this way. Add nav header to homepage. There is definitely a better way of going about this, but no. I'm going to get rid of this because we don't need that anymore. And then I guess I'm going to get rid of this because we don't need that anymore either. And we're just going to put up with the fact that this is a little bit off center. Is there a way to ensure CSS no overlap? Actually, there is. It's called floats. I hate that float is an option here, but I think that might be it. The things I do to try to get away from not using breakpoints. Where's the width? That is weird. That is not what I want. Can't have that floating because then it won't. It's not text. It's not text. I can't have this clear both. Position absolutes. Okay. But then this isn't going to fix anything because if we do this, we end up with the same problem of that. That's what happens. We still get that overlap. The floats are nice if you can get them to play well with the rest of the layouts. But these aren't text. We can make them text. I don't know if I like that idea, but we can make them text. The things I do to try to avoid doing breakpoints. I don't think that's a good idea. That is probably not a good idea. Man, now we're just breaking things. Okay, whatever. We're gonna leave it at that, at this here. We will fix the vertical alignment later. I think we do have to end up using a breakpoint at some point. But the good news is this actually looks kind of decent. And then the schedule. That's fast. Schedule, which is this. There's a whole ton of stuff that's been made, and a whole ton of features have been added. We can open up the schedule here. We done anything here? Gotta make sure we add all the files. Okay, so then we go to the schedule and we have this page and layouts. I don't think we have... We shouldn't need this. I don't think we need this layout file. Because everything else should inherit from the main layouts. Main layout file. Except apparently it doesn't, for some reason. Reset source route schedule plus layout. Alright, fine, I'll go do a git restore. Old habits die hard. I don't think we need this layout file because sveltekit layouts are they cascade, they inherit. So I don't think we should need it. Like, we're breaking out of layouts here. Ordinarily, a page inherits every layout above it, meaning that source routes ABC page svelte inherits 4 layouts, this thing. Occasionally, it's useful to break out of the current layout hierarchy. It's because we actually don't need this, we just need this. because this layout here has that. We don't have this in there. This is fine. Remove redundant cells from the schedule layout. Actually, maybe it's not a good idea to do that, because the schedule should be its own thing. Occasionally, it's useful to break out of the current layout hierarchy. Do that by using the @ sign, followed by the name of the parent segment to reset to. So we could do that, or we could just not. I wish they had links to the actual documentation, because they do have this in advanced routing somewhere. I saw it. It's in here somewhere. Here is advanced routing. Where even is this? I don't think it's in the menu. Oh no, it's over here. 404 is optionals. Speaking of which, I don't think I actually have the 404 page. Yeah, there's no 404 page here. We gotta fix that. Yeah, this is fine. I think we can just make do with that. The global layout is going to be very simple, and then we have this here as our override for schedule. And then we have this data, which is now changed. Import event. We have the schedule, we have the logo, the title. We now have a couple more features. We go to websites, static schedule, the JS file. What's new? Okay, so let's compare here. We have main, class schedule, schedule info, that's still fine. Logo, title. That should probably change. I feel like this should be an H group instead. Actually, no. I think this is this is properly a title, so that's an H2. That's correct. See the latest at this, sure. That's fine. Schedule events, each data events as events. Then we render this depending on what it is. Not everything is going to be an event like this. Then we have the footer, socials from there, that's fine. And then we have this div here. We have this event template. And we have this post template. The post stuff is new. And then we have these ones here. So those are all rendered as events. That's fine. So event here is this. I guess I don't have that that enabled. Okay. Event.svelte. Which is for the most part here. That's this here, render events. We have the ID, title, and we now have subtitles. URL, other URLs, date, time, tags is equal to that. This, for the most part, still looks correct. conditional anchor, right? Because if we don't have a URL, then we don't actually put this in an anchor tag, which is fine. Div id class event tags.join. Surely there was a better way of doing that. Svelte CSS class list. Surely it's in here somewhere. Well, you know what? It doesn't actually matter. It's fine. So then we have if URL, we do this. And the video ID. Oh, this is making a whole ton of assumptions. I mean, this is making a whole bunch of assumptions too, but title ID, content ID, event starts, event starts. Cover focus. Oh, is this why that's not working? Because we need this. Yeah, that's why that's not working. Yeah, that's exactly why that's not working. Can't believe it. Okay, so apparently, oh no, here it is. There it is. Git diff hashed commits and render schedule links using correct color. SCSS selector nested selectors were missing ampersand to act on the element itself, on the selected element itself. Okay, that's why that wasn't working. That makes sense. What else do we have here? Events, event preview, locations, video ID, image, title. Other URLs. I don't think I have other URLs here. Right, because otherwise it'd be in. Otherwise it'd be in here. If URL, then we do this. If other URLs, then we do that too. Ooh, I am actually going to need to figure this out. Okay. Because I need... Right now I'm assuming that all the other URLs are Twitch, because most of the time they are going to be just me. But in the case where I do a collab, those other URLs might not be Twitch. Those might be YouTube or some other place. I mean, I can assume YouTube for now, but I need to support both YouTube and Twitch. But we can fix that later. In the meantime, we do have this one here. And I'm going to say other URLs is an empty array by default, so we can actually just assume that it is an array and do each other URLs as URL. but I think we need to process them first because this video ID here is not quite correct. So const process other URLs is equal to other URLs dot for each dot map rather other URL and it's going to be something or other around here. We're going to say assume full Twitch user URL here, and then we say that no, there's got to be a smarter way of doing this. Because we're already having this here. We don't want video ID. We want to process this URL the same way we do the other ones. The only reason why we have it separate is so that we have something to link to. So this conditional anchor here, the reason why URL is separate is so that we can link to this one. But in terms of showing them on this here, or say on the live site, this here where we have multiple what do you call it? Multiple lines here. Right? In terms of showing that, it's all the same thing. So maybe what I do want actually is just then this. Processed locations is equal to URL, other URLs, dot map, and we turn this into something. Then that means that if URL dot because right now I'm assuming YouTube, but I probably shouldn't assume that. Const parse URL is equal to new URL I'm gonna call that U. And in which case, I'm going to switch on the first URL dot host name. I'm going to say that I don't want to use a switch. I don't want to use a switch. YouTube. Then we say that then. Return this object. Otherwise, case which we return this object instead. And so for this one, we have source Actually, no, it's an icon. It's not just the icon though. Text is this. And then for the Twitch, we do this. And I guess we can have the source and the alt here. Icon source is equal to import YouTube icon from lib/images/social icons /youtube.svg, which I should already have, I think. Down here, could be. Oh, I'm gonna have to change that. That's gonna have to change. Because I think that's under static, and I don't need them to be under static. Twitch icon. And this stuff. The icon is YouTube icon, and then alt is YT. And then here, same thing, icon is Twitch icon, alt is TTV. Okay, so now that we have that, we don't need a default case. There's nothing that's going to happen there. I mean, defensive programming. Oh, is stream, are you okay? I'm gonna assume everything's fine. OBS just said it got disconnected, but I don't know why. I'm gonna assume things are okay. Okay, so now we have this one. We don't need the video ID anymore. We're gonna change this to something different. Now the social icon here, that's fine. Then we have this ID, add video ID, class list ads. Okay, that's fine. And same thing, video ID there. So I think we need each. This has now become each locations as text icon else. And we can key on the text. Now, span class video ID, we have this as text. And then we have this as icon and the YT as alt. Okay, and hopefully that renders correctly. Nice, it does not. And that's because I forgot to change this to an H. Okay, there we go. And just to test that out with a much newer set. Schedule index right here. We're going to take the one from this week and put them in here. Alright, so let's see how this renders, and it does not render. Why do you not render? Twitch is not defined. 39. Twitch icon. That is not quite right. We got the YouTube icons, we don't have the Twitch icons. But that's because we imported the wrong thing. And so now we have those. Okay, great. We don't have the subtitles though. But that's fine. We only did the one thing anyway. So yes, no, yes, no, don't do that. Schedule show all other URLs. Other URLs, now it supports YouTube URLs. And URL also supports Twitch URLs now. Also now it supports. Okay, great. So we made an improvement here that we don't have over here, but that's fine because eventually we don't want to move. We do want to move to this over here, and then now we have the subtitle, which is fairly new. And that should be fairly easy to implement too. The subtitle says that there is a subtitle. And we create one and we append it to the title header elements. And the title header elements, title header is a fragment on the events. Oh no, actually. That is new. So the event template now is different. We have this div ID events, div locations. Okay, and then we have the H group. We now have an H group with a title header. Really? Normally you have completion on that, but okay. We have the H group here, title header, ID, title header, ID. And then we have this h3 title ID, class title, whatever. And then we have if, and this is the what makes it a little bit easier. If we have a subtitle, then we add something in here. Document.create elements. This is a paragraph. Key ID subtitle ID subtitle, and then we use this as a subtitle. Great. Attempted to close an element that was not open. So this needs to be P. And now our styles are off because we haven't imported the new styles for that. So now we got to find the styles for the subtitles. That'll be this one here. And I think that was the only change that I had for that. That should be fairly simple. Not quite. Title header, also need to add. And now that should look correct. That does not look correct. It's supposed to look like this. We're missing something. Title now is display inline. That's changed. And that looks correct. Okay. Now we can actually use this for the thing. Actually, this data here, I should put into a JSON file, which I will do later. Because there's another aspect to this where I want to be able to select which schedule we're looking at eventually, and that's another motivation why we're moving this to Svelte, so that we can add more features to this thing. Okay, well, I mean, that's that I think is good enough for that. We render a subtitle now, which is great. That gets us most of the way through all the different kinds of posts that I've made on this. And then the only thing that's left here is to make the post type, which is like the event type, but it's just text instead. The post type is a little bit simpler. Render post is something like this here, where you have the post templates. So, very simple. Actually, all you do is fill it out. So we can make that right now. These all need to be in variables. At the same time, maybe we can actually reuse this somehow. Because we do have div ID content. Oh, we have all this stuff here. It's mostly the same. It's mostly the same. So what we might want to consider is abstracting this out into a separate component. where we fill in the content. Oh, how do I feel about that? I mean, maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. I don't know if I want to do that right now, though. My voice is starting to get tired, and we are at the 2.5 hour mark, so this is probably a good place to end. If we wanted to, I think we could actually publish this. I don't think it's quite there yet, but it is publishable, I think. Because it works. Like, everything is here. Everything is here. And you can click stuff, and I mean, well, actually no, it's not quite there yet, because there's a bunch of hidden stuff here. It's like portfolio. This, which I want to make better. So this is not ready yet, and we need to make sure that this is in a good spot before we can actually move things over. And then the individual pages here too, like this. I do kind of want to keep this. This is kind of neat. So we're gonna have to do that. So this is not quite ready yet to switch over, but we're getting closer. We're getting closer. All right, we're gonna end it there. Next stream, we can get that up. Next time, tomorrow, same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be playing Tetrio. If you hadn't heard, Tetra League is ending its first season on July 26th, and your rank will be memorialized in a badge. So I want to make sure that we aren't memorialized with an S-, one S or higher. So we're going to try to grind up to S at least tomorrow. And then, yeah, hopefully that'll be good enough for us to ride until the season ends. If not, we might do another Tetris stream at some point. But hopefully that's good enough for us. Okay. What else is there? Discord. If you're not already in there, link is in the description, also now in chat. Yeah, there it is. We got a channel here for programming. There's been a bunch of recent chatter in there actually. People learning Vim, and a bunch of other things. WSL shenanigans, or Node shenanigans rather. Node should not take 26 seconds to run npm I help -- help, but apparently we have a report of that happening. Okay, what else is there? I think that's probably it. I need to rest my voice. Yeah, come check this out. That'll be tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Well, I guess I have the schedule here. I could just show it to you now. Right, this one right here, Tetrio. At 7:30 Eastern or 11:30 p.m. UTC tomorrow. But yeah, the schedule is always up on the website, and so I'll paste this here too. You can click on these things, and this is why I have the website or the schedule as a website, so you can click on this. Eventually, I think it would be nice to have like desktop notifications to say that the stream is starting or things like that. Would be kind of cool. Okay, yeah, no, this is fine. So this has been for those of you new here. My name is Penbu. I'm the programming, puzzle gaming, music making VTuber on Linux. We have been programming, fixing up the website just little by little. Also fixed the Twitch alert. So maybe you can go ahead and actually go through the affiliate now. Yeah, that's it. Thank you all for coming. I will see you next stream. Good night, chat.